Hey everyone, it's Sam Bio Cosplay. Today we're taking a look at the Transformers Masterpiece MP32 Convoy, also known as Optimus Primal. I am a huge Beast Wars fan, so I'm really excited for this figure. So let's take a look at his accessories, and then we'll take a look at the figure. So first he comes with 3 alternate faces for the robot mode, a masked face, a face with one eye that's slightly larger than the other, and an angry face. He also comes with 2 alternate faces for the beast mode, one happy ape face and one angry face. And finally he comes with his 2 swords. So now let's take a closer look at the robot mode. And I still can't get over how great this figure looks. It looks like it stepped right out of the cartoon. I should note this is a $120 figure, so a bit more pricey than most of the figures I've taken a look at, but we'll see if I think it's worth it. So on all the gray parts here, there's like a fur pattern printed on. And it looks really good. It reads as fur, and I think it was a great choice to go with. There are only a few spots where it's kind of messed up or weird. Like on some of the curves, it gets a little weird just because of the way they printed it on, but it's not super noticeable. What is noticeable is there's some flashing on some of the seams. So there you can see anywhere there is some flashing, it's like a white, it just looks kind of like a white substance there, which is just the plastic, but it stands out against the nice fur that's printed on. That's only in a few spots, and you can really only see it if you're looking for it. So it doesn't bother me too much. There's some red paint here on his arms. A little bit of fuzziness on the points here. Again, on this arm, a little bit of fuzziness around the edges. The chest is painted really well. Some metallic blues and some red in there. Knees have some red plastic on them. I think this is red paint on the top of the knee, and the hips are red plastic. And these pistons and his shins are red. He's got some really nice silver paint for the feet, more of that metallic-y blue for the hands. On his back he has this peg, and they haven't said what this peg is for, but the Legends Rat Trap figure does fit on there, so I'll show that later. And then another feature he has for his head, you could put batteries in him, like watch batteries, and you push down on the head and the eyes light up. And then after a few seconds those will fade away. So you can't leave him on all the time, just in short bursts. But I think it's a really cool feature. So on the forearms, on the bottom, there's this little tab here, and if you push in on that, then on the top of the forearm, this panel will pop up. So you can pull on the panel, flip that back, and it reveals his forearm guns. And those look really good. Super cool. And to put those back in, you just kind of push the barrels back and push it down. Here you can see another spot of that flashing I was talking about earlier. That one's not super noticeable just because it's covered by the hand. On this forearm he has a peg hole. The instructions don't say what it's for, so maybe with a future figure it'll come with something that goes there. I'm not sure what that's for. On his backpack he has his shoulder cannons that will flip forward. And he also has this little jetpack thing, so you can pull these 2 tabs apart and then flip this around. Flip it the other way. And then tab these back in. And there he has his thrusters for his jetpack. And you can get him in some flying poses. He has one peg hole here, and then one peg hole here. Changing out the faces was a little bit difficult for me at first. On the side of the head, you can see right in front of his ear detail, there's like a little notch. So what you want to do on either side of the head, kind of put your nails in these notches and then pull forward, and you pop the face off, and then you can get another face and just stick it on there. In the instructions it doesn't specifically say how to change out the faces, it just says pull the faces off, so that was the easiest way I found to do it. So he can hold his swords, and to do that there's a peg on either side of the sword. You just open up his hand, there's a peg hole in the palm, so you stick it in the peg hole and then close the fingers around it, and he holds the swords really well. You can also store the swords on the back There's a peg on either side of the backpack here, and that pegs into the side of the sword here. So you can just stick those on there like that. Now let's take a look at the articulation, and then we'll take a look at the beast mode. So the head is on a ball joint, and it rotates down that much and up quite a bit. All the joints are ratcheted other than the head. That's a lie, not all the joints are ratcheted. So the shoulders are ratcheted, and those move all the way around, out that much, rotates below the bicep. He has a single jointed elbow, and there's quite a bit of gappage when you move the elbow, but it moves up all the way. But as you can see, it's kind of odd. He just has this blank space behind his elbow. This doesn't really bother me. I believe in the cartoon he just had like one giant hinge for the elbow, but here they chose a smaller one positioned a bit forward. And once you get imposed, you don't really notice that at all. It's just a little bit odd. And then the hands rotate, and the index finger moves separate from the other fingers, but his hands do open and close. He does have waist rotation, and that's ratcheted as well. The hips move out all the way. They move forward this much, back this much. He has a single jointed knee that moves down that much, but then due to the transformation, it's almost as if he has a double jointed knee, and you can move it that much, but it does show some more robot-y bits in there. And the feet hinge forward that much, back that much. He does have an ankle pivot, and he has a toe hinge. And this little piston moves, but that's not actually where the ankle articulation is. It's back here. But it is really cool that the piston moves when you move his foot. Since the hip joints are ratcheted, to get him standing, either have his hips slightly too far together or spread a decent amount apart. So it would have been nice if you can kind of get like a half step in between that, but I don't think it looks bad just having them spread apart this way. Now let's take a look at the beast mode. So here he is in his beast mode, and I think this mode looks great as well. There are some seams and there is some robot bits showing, but I think overall it does look great. So he's got this nice metallic blue all over the chest and the tummy, and then some more of that metallic blue for the hands on the toes and on the back. The back of the legs are mainly where the robot bits show, but you're not really going to be looking at the back of your beast mode Optimus. So swapping out the faces on the beast mode is a lot easier. You just grab the side of the face and pull it off. To put the batteries in this figure, you pull off the ape head and then pull this little panel back, and there's a screw that you can take out, and you put in 2 watch batteries. So let's look at the articulation. So the head moves forward only a smidge and back a decent amount, but if you pull up on the ball peg, it causes a little bit of gappage there, but then you can get better articulation out of it. So you can get him looking up even further, and a little bit of neck pivot. So just better range overall out of that. The arms are basically the same as the robot mode. So they move out like that. Rotate around, jointed elbow, just rotates and opens and closes. Then for the legs, can't really get him moving forward much or back much. And then he just has the ankle movement, no knee or anything. Something you can do is get him in more of a 4-legged pose. You want to like pull the chest forward and pull this flap out, and then pull the legs backward like this. Resituate everything, and then you can rotate the legs forward more so you can get better range there. So if you want him kicking, you can do that, but this is so he can be in a 4-legged pose. Oh gosh, oh dear, kind of like this, so that you can have him on his knuckles, and that looks pretty good as well. But I will be having him displayed in his robot mode. Alright, so here he is back in his robot mode. And here I have the Transformers Legends Rat Trap. If you position the arm underneath Rat Trap like this, then you can peg this peg into the hand. Alright, so once you get his hand pegged on there, then you can have Rat Trap riding on his back. This does make him very back heavy, so you have to lean him forward quite a bit to get him standing. But I think it's pretty cool that you can do that. Hopefully that means in the future they'll make a Masterpiece Rat Trap figure, because Rat Trap's my favorite. So overall, I think this is a fantastic figure. I love it. If you're a Beast Force fan, I would definitely recommend it. If not, then I guess that's up to you. I think any Beast Wars fan would love this figure though, and it's fantastic. So again, I love this figure. It's everything I would have wanted out of an Optimus Primal figure, and it just makes me happy every time I look at it. So if you love Beast Wars, then you should get it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.